My Blu-ray collection part 26. Ahoy, hi everybody, and welcome to part 26 of a look at my Blu-ray collection. So this is films, TV, comedy, music, documentaries, anything like that can crop up on here. Just no box sets because I've already shown those, and the box sets I've shown are multi-film box sets or multi-series of a TV show box sets. Let's carry straight on. So a couple of parts ago I showed Kingsman: The Golden Circle, the sequel. This is the original, Kingsman: The Secret Service. Fantastic film, really loved it, can't really fault it. Excellent film. Terminator Genesis, I quite enjoyed this. It's not a patch on the first three, and I do mean three. I really enjoyed Terminator 3 personally, but it's better than Salvation, and I've not watched Dark Fate, is it the last one, yet. But yeah, a lot of fun. Says it all, really. You know, I'm sure you're all familiar with the Terminator films, and most of you have probably seen that. So a couple of parts ago I showed 50 Shades Freed. I've previously shown 50 Shades of Grey. This is 50 Shades Darker. So as I mentioned before, they're terrible films, they really are, but there's something about them I just really enjoy watching, and that something is really Dakota Johnson and the fact that she gets her kit off a lot. But yeah. This is Doctor Who release, Sharda. So Sharda was a episode from Tom Baker's era that they filmed the exteriors for and a couple of interiors, but then there was a strike at the BBC and they couldn't complete filming and they scrapped it. Clips from it were used in The Five Doctors for Tom Baker's part in that, and then it had a VHS release where it was put back together with I think it was linking, I think it's probably on here actually if memory serves, Tom Baker sort of linking the clips telling the story. This is done with animation to complete it and loads of extras on it. Very good. Series 3 of Inside Number 9. So Inside Number 9, one of the best TV shows around. This has got The Bill, which is the argument about the restaurant bill. Karaoke, I can't remember exactly what it's called, but the karaoke one. The Strange Art Exhibition. It's got the Devil of Christmas, which was the Christmas episode, which is absolutely fantastic. What are the other ones on here? They're not listed. That doesn't help. Yeah, so Devil of Christmas was the first episode. Then The Bill, Riddle of the Sphinx, which was the Cryptic Crosswords one, which is excellent. Empty Orchestra was a karaoke one. Diddle Diddle Dumpling, very strange one. The guy who finds the shoe in the road and desperately wants to reunite it with its owner. And Private View, which is the art exhibition one. So what? Yeah, that's it. Just as I say, one of the best TV series around. This is Hugo, the 3D version, which I did manage to see in 3D before my telly died. Martin Scorsese film, absolutely fantastic. Really loved this film. So Hugo is a young, I don't know if he's around teenage or I'm not sure, quite sure how old he's meant to be. But he lives in a train station and a sort of a, I'm going to say a tramp, but that's a bit harsh, but you know what I mean. You know, he's illegally living in the train station, constantly trying to dodge the station master, played by Sacha Baron Cohen. He discovers a secret left by his father, and he's trying to follow this mystery, and he meets Chloe Grace Moretz, and George Méliès is involved. It's hard to describe, but it's just a fantastic film. Really recommend it. This is The Ladykillers, the Ealing classic film. I actually won this in a competition, Empire magazine, I think, on their website. I have this on DVD, but glad to win this. Great film. First time I watched it, didn't do much for me. But then I saw the stage play that Graham Linehan wrote and was directed by Sean... can't remember his name. The guy who's directed lots of great comedy stuff on stage. Loved that. Peter Capaldi, Ben Miller, Clive Rowe. Anyway, Peter Capaldi and Ben Miller were in it. It was excellent. And then when I rewatched this, it made me enjoy the film a lot more. So yeah, excellent film. Alec Guinness rents a room from an old lady and has friends round, and they're actually planning a big robbery, but they're pretending that they're a bunch of musicians practicing. Peter Sellers, Herbert Lom. Just really, really good. Another really, really good film. This is Parkland. So this is based around the JFK assassination on November 22nd, 1963. And it's set in Parkland Hospital, which is where Kennedy was taken and died. And it's sort of the story of the doctors who treated him and what was going on in the hospital at the time. Just excellent film. This I watched about 3 days ago. This is Before Dawn. This is a signed copy, signed by Dominic Brunt and Joanne Mitchell, who are husband and wife. Dominic Brunt didn't dawn on me when I bought these. He's Marlon in Emmerdale. So he wrote, directed... No, actually he didn't write it, did he? No. So the story was originated by Joanne Mitchell, his wife, who also stars in this, or co-stars in this with him. So it's a horror. They're in a marriage with 2 kids, and the marriage is going wrong. It's probably won't be long before it's over. They go away to an isolated country cottage to try and mend the relationship. Whilst they're there, some viral pandemic, sound familiar? Takes over and basically starts turning everybody into zombies. And she goes out for a run, and this zombie attacks her and she gets bitten, so she turns. He's trying to A, stay alive, and B, keep her alive, and hoping that he can cure her. It's, a zombie horror, cabin in the woods-ish type film. It was good. It wasn't great, but it was good. I enjoyed it. It kept, it held my attention throughout. I found it's very low budget, and there's lots of ADR on it, and it's very obvious. Basically, any outside scene, the sound's completely wrong on the voices. And there's a couple of other moments inside as well that are clearly ADR'd, and it was obvious. So that took me out of it a little bit. But yeah, overall I enjoyed it. It's well worth a watch if you're into horror. I have got his next film, Bait, which is next in my to-watch pile. In fact, I might even be watching it today, if not tomorrow, as I record this. But yes, this was signed copy, bought directly from 101 Films. And Bait signed as well, by both of them, and Victoria Silves... No, what's her name? Victoria Smurfit. There you go. Yeah, I knew nothing about the films, but one of one sent me the email over £10 each, so I thought I'd give them a go. Next up is this 2-film collection, which has got Superman the Movie, the extended cut, which is... let me get this the right way round. Right. And Superman Movie Special Edition. Superman Movie Special Edition is Dick Donner's cut, basically. Have I got that right? Yes. And that's got loads of extras on it that were on the original disc, which I've got as part of the Superman box set. But the reason I wanted this, and I got it as a Christmas present, was for the extended cut. This is the TV version. So the producers had it in their contract that they could basically do what they wanted with the film. And when they sold it to TV, they stuck, how much extra in it? It's about an hour. It's something ridiculous. It's 3 hours and 8 minutes long, the TV version, the extended cut. The special edition is 151 minutes, so that's 37 more minutes. I mean, the theatrical version is less than that, so I think it's about an hour extra. And they did it so that they could split the film over 2 nights and make even more money off of it, basically. And it's recently been discovered, stuck back together and stuck on a Blu-ray and released. It just basically made the film a bit slower. It's little moments here and there. It's no huge... The huge scenes that have been put back in were put back in on Dick Donner's cut, so they didn't sort of stand out. But it's just little tweaks here and there, you know, odd lines here and there, odd moments here and there that have been trimmed. So you don't really watch it thinking, oh, that's new, unless you know the films, you know, back to front, which I don't. I've watched them a lot, but not enough to know every beat of them. But it just sort of overall just makes the film just a bit slower. But it didn't ruin it for me. I still enjoyed it. It was still the Superman I love. So yeah. This was Venom. I really enjoyed this as well. This sort of had mixed. You know, some people have really slated it. Some people really enjoyed it. Personally, you can put me in the enjoyed camp. So Tom Hardy is an investigative journalist who's investigating... it doesn't say on here, so that doesn't help. A company fronted by, what's his name? Riz Ahmed, who, a scientific company, are doing some research, and basically it turns out they're trying to cultivate these aliens, and one of them escapes and becomes symbiotic with Tom Hardy. It just sounds really stupid when you put it like that, doesn't it? But yeah, it's a really good film anyway. I really enjoyed it. If you've watched whichever Spider-Man film it was that Venom's in, you know the rough idea of it anyway. This is a Criterion release of True Stories, filmed by David Byrne, the lead singer of Talking Heads and now solo artist. So this was while he was with Talking Heads. First saw this when it was released. My mum won a competition on local radio station, 2 tickets to go and see it. And it was university cinema type thing. I'm not sure exactly where it was nowadays. In Southampton. And we went to see it, not really knowing what to expect. I loved it. Mum didn't mind it, but you know, I've sort of loved the film ever since. It's a strange film. It won't be to everybody's taste, but basically David Byrne is the narrator of it, and he goes to the town of Virgil in Texas, and it's coming up for their celebration of specialness, where they're putting on a big concert that all the locals are going to take part in. And it's basically him meeting the locals and finding out about their lives, and then we sort of see him away from him as well. And they're just, you know, loads of quirky characters. And then lots of, you know, there's various songs in it as well. I've just always loved it. Nice package this, as you would expect from Criterion. I'm not a huge fan of Criterion's releases, but when they're doing well, they do. It's got a replica newspaper with loads of, that sort of takes the place of a booklet. It's got all the information you'd normally get in a booklet. And it's also got the soundtrack CD. And there's 2 soundtracks to this, basically. There's this, which is all the songs from the film, and music and what have you as well. Then Talking Heads recorded their versions of the songs and released those on an album, which I also have. Yeah. This is Amazon Women on the Moon. So this is sort of a sketch film, basically. It's basically replicating cable TV from the early 80s. Sort of, you know, really low budget films and what have you, including Amazon Women on the Moon, which is a spoof sci-fi film. But it's got lots of fake adverts and clips from shows and trailers for shows in it. It's hit and miss, but it's more hit than miss. It's a film I've owned on VHS and DVD and now got on Blu-ray. Huge stars in it. Rosanna Arquette, Carrie Fisher, Steve Guttenberg, Michelle Pfeiffer, Ed Begley Jr., Sybil Danning. And then it's directed by various people, including Joe Dante and John Landis. And this has got audio commentary and loads of deleted scenes and everything. Yeah, very enjoyable. This is another John Landis film. This is Into the Night. I really, really enjoyed this. Jeff Goldblum is working for a company that makes spaceships, basically, rockets. And he finds out his wife's cheating on him. He's an insomniac anyway. So he decides he's just going to leave, having had some advice from his colleague, played by Dan Aykroyd, who says you can just get on a plane, go to Vegas, hook up with a prostitute, and be back the same night. So it looks like he's going to do that, but he gets to the airport, and just as he's parked, Michelle Pfeiffer comes into his life. She's landed, and with her boyfriend, who gets attacked. There's 3 assassins, one of whom is John Landis, who kill him and then want to kill her, so chase after her. She literally lands on his roof, gets in the car to drive, so he drives, and basically the film is trying to escape them and get away, and it turns out she's got some diamonds that they're after. But yeah, really enjoyable film, really, really, really good. Another film I've owned on every format. This is Sirens. Absolutely love this. So Hugh Grant is a priest who goes to Australia. He's an English priest, obviously, with his wife, Tara Fitzgerald. He's posted over there, and whilst he's there, because he's young and hip for a priest, he has to go and persuade this artist that the work he submitted for an exhibition is blasphemous. So he goes and stays with the artist, played by Sam Neill, with his wife, played by I can't remember the name of the woman who plays the wife. But they're 3 models, played by Elle Macpherson, Kate Fisher and Portia de Rossi. And it's what happens while they're there and how they get seduced in various ways. Really excellent film. This is 3 Amigos. I know this part's quite long, but I'm only two discs away from completing this half of the shelf. 3 Amigos, comedy starring Steve Martin, Martin Short and Chevy Chase. So they're 3 silent movie actors who get sacked and at the same time get invited to a village, they think just to perform a show, but it's because the woman who lives in this village and her son saw them on the screen and thought they were real and that they would be able to save the day against this nasty bandit, if you like, who's blackmailing them. And it's a comedy and it's very funny. Good film. And finally, Deadpool 2, the super duper cut. This has got both theatrical and Super Duper cuts on it, but I've only watched the Super Duper. I didn't see the point of watching the short version if I could have the long version. Excellent film. Not quite as good as the first, but still very, very good. Highly recommend. Okay, so that's it for this part. So that was 3 videos. It's probably going to be another 3 with the second half of this shelf. So thank you for watching. Keep an eye on my playlist for the rest and for past parts. And I'll see you soon. Thanks. Bye.